I'm walking the go, out for the
bitches. I'm in hell. I know, it's just hot. Hear the train? Boop, boop. Welcome to the vlog. I was watching Tay-Tay and her boyfriend on his podcast, and then it glitched out. The chat was on fire. So yeah, what's going on with you guys? Got a vlog up. I got an electric bike a couple weeks ago, and it's been way too hot and I've been coughing. I really, really want to go for a bike ride. I want to go for a bike ride so bad. But I think it'll kick my ass because of the heat. So, we're in my little secret date grove. Mama place. Yeah. So. Do you hear the train? I've always lived by the train tracks. And then there's this bridge by us. This, like, I guess it's a famous bridge for, like, what do they call them? What are those people? Oh, rail fans. Rail fans. It's for rail fans. So, it's, like, all made of iron and steel. It's, like, it was expensive bridge. And I guess it's where they'll do, like, a lot of, like, switches and loading onto the tracks. So we're always hearing the horn. So sometimes, like, the Amtrak's bad. They'll be like honk, and it's like, we get it. And then it'll be like honk, honk, and it's like, okay, I understand, you're coming. Honk, 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 and they'll just lay on it. It's like they'll be like honk, 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 and I'm like, okay, we get it, you're here. The Amtrak's going by. When I was a little kid, me and my mom used to live in this 2-story apartment complex. It was over by here. What is it? That Circle K. Remember the Circle K I was drawing a long, long time ago? And I was like modeling the Mermart after the Circle K. It's now a Wingstop, but I used to live over there. Yeah. I forget what building. They were all letters. They were all building letters. I forget what letter we were in, but yeah, I lived over there. We lived upstairs, and when the train would go by and I was a little kid, sometimes it would knock me out of my bed. I remember falling out of the bed once, and I was like, what? I want to go ride my bike so bad, but I think I'll get in trouble. It's like 109. No, gross, right? But I feel like summer's going to end earlier, so raw. So yeah, making my way. My mom was feeding the kitties out here. And then we have a frog too. We have a frog and his girlfriend that live on our patio. So yeah, chilling. Another day in hell. Welcome. That's not so bad. It's not so bad. Yeah. Haven't seen any hummingbirds, but yeah, we get those too. Me and Frank got into jammies early, and you know, Patrick's out late because he's got a thing, and well, no one cares about that. So it's just me and Frank. We're hanging out, and me and Frank were having a chit chat about Alicia's new vlog and her maid of honor speech. And Frank pointed out to me some interesting tidbits, right, Frank, that I didn't think about. And Frank's, since he's an older cat, he's very wise. He knows a lot. So let me show you what he was talking about. I know, not super editing, but this is my vlog shit, not my mentor's vlog shit. If you guys have been around, you know. This is me. Anything having to talk with, oh God, this does involve the industry though, because they're adjacent. But yeah, this is our shit. I want you to listen to this, and then we're gonna go and look at something else. So, watch this.
Are a gem of a human being. We are so, oh shit. You're the most generous, kind human being this world has ever seen.
Pause, okay? Now we're gonna go over here. Most kind, generous human being the world has ever seen. Yet, here she is in a funk because her creativeness has been sucked away by her business partner, Remy Cruz fucking Parsons. Frank's words, not mine. What is that? In a funk. Those are my videos.
You're the most generous, kind human being this world has ever seen.
If she really was, she would have given a shit about your career and your creativeness and your life instead of sucking away the attention for herself, which let's look at this. Let's go back. You see that number right there? 40K for a vlog. 40K viewers, right? Let's go over here. And I don't care that the subscriber count's different. Under 10,000 views. They were both posted about the same time. The podcast versus Alisha. Yeah. Are you picking up what I'm laying down here? Alisha used to do a lot of skits. She used to plan a lot of main channel videos. What happened? She's trying to get out of her funk in August when this was supposed to be a creative summer. This is all shit Frank was pointing out. This is shit I was pointing out over a year ago. Over a year ago, I was pointing out how there was zero camaraderie. Zero. No camaraderie. Sabrina Carpenter figured out camaraderie and came out a song with it. Wink, wink, nod, nod, get it, get it, get it. Sabrina Carpenter got it. But did you? No. It's been about Remy. It's been all about Remy. And yeah, she got married, that's true. But now it's about Remy moving. And Remy getting a new house. And Remy's new life. But what about Alisha's life? Where's her life going? See, I think if your friend was really the most generous person in the world, she would think about her friend Alisha and what's going on with Alisha. And not like in a... Let me turn this around. Yes, I'm in my yammies. I know. I should have put a headband on, but I don't care. Frank! He's leaving me to carry the rest of the vlog for him. I know, it look kind of... Whatever. We're in my living room. You can look at lucidity behind me. Focus camera. You can do it. Bam! Yeah, look at lucidity. You don't have to look at me, so... Yeah. Anyways... A funk. You're in a funk. When I was saying, where are my videos at? Shit, I'm gonna have to go very far. But look, like... Look, I even told you guys when bad winter was coming. What is all this? Like... Where's my show? Oh, yeah. My stalker. They learn, too. Everybody learns, right? Oh, ideas. I took my subscribers on a date. Remember that? Remember we all went on a date? We should go on a date again together. That would be fun. We need to start doing more shit together. Well, we are going to be going on a... We're going to be going on a date to the... to a villa. And not like a foodie beauty luxury villa. We're going to be going to a nice villa by the sea. We're going to learn about herbs. and poisons. I got questions. I'm making a list. Reacting to the podcast. Remember, see there's where I was like, a year ago. I know. Sorry for the interruption. That was Patrick. He's on his way home from his whatever thing. Who cares? Anyways, so back to this. So yeah, I was telling you guys like about how there was zero camaraderie. It was like Alisha's creativity was being sucked off by Remy, whether that was Remy's goal or not. It was like Remy, I was like crouching down, I'm like, I should be up here like this. Good posture. Chin up. Like we are in an all-girls school, learning to walk with books on our heads. Have you ever done that? I've never done that. Let's see. Where's my spell book? My spell book. So anyway, so yeah, no camaraderie whatsoever. No camaraderie. And I was saying this. It was like when they became BFFs and started that podcast and hanging out all the time, it was almost like Remy was sucking off her creativity. Remy's got a cookbook coming out. She's got a project coming out. Now, a lot of people in the Snark think that it is going to be like a, you know, like Remy just basically taking Pinterest or TikTok recipes and maybe changing a few things and that being it, which isn't very creative. And, you know, there's a lot of companies right now that do this, like, book author cut and paste type moment. So, it's like you can just use them like Black Label. Like, you know, where you just go in. Where you just go in and you, like, say, I want to sell this makeup. And you just slap your name on it. Like private labeling. So, there's that with the book industry. But she's got a project coming out. She has life changes happening. And none of this is happening for Alisha. Alisha used to have that excitement behind her. Like I saw today with Taylor Swift. Now, I know they're different creative industries and whatnot. And different a volume of fandom, right? But Taylor Swift, it was so refreshing to hear somebody sit down and talk about being creative, talk about their creative process, talk about how much they love their fans, their craft, and how they tune into them, and how they, you know what they want, and how to deliver it to them. And it was so refreshing, too, to hear her explain, like, okay, I just got my master's back, which, oh my God, like, I felt that, like, when she's like, yeah, I've always been saving, like, I had this little picture in my head of Taylor Swift as a teenager putting, like, pennies into, like, a jar in her room, which I know that's probably what was going on, but, like, this was someone who loved their craft and what they've made so much. They saved up to get their master's back because they loved it so much. They love what they created. And you could tell, you could just sit there for hours talking about music and being creative and how much she loves it and just the process and how she loves even performing for her and entertaining her fans and how she likes to figure out other ways to connect with them and shit. All Remy and Alisha do just talk about, oh, we're great. No. We're not feeling it. That's why there's a Snark Reddit now. And not like a Lana Del Rey's subreddit. Like, they love, her fans love her and her art. Because she has created an art that can heal people's trauma. Because these people, like Taylor and Elizabeth, have actually worked on being creative. And sometimes that means shutting out other people. That sometimes means not being in a creative partnership. Because that other person is going to siphon your creativity. Whether they mean to or not. And that's what's happened here. They decided to do a partnership, and it was not equal. It was one-sided. And here's Remy doing better than Alisha now. Creatively. And Remy's not even that creative. I'm sorry, Remy, you're not really creative. A lot of your cooking could have been better. You could have infused a lot more of your culture. But instead, she just copies and pastes what's on TikTok, because being famous is what is Remy's goal. Money and fame, which, I mean, fame's a god, but I guess Remy doesn't know that yet. It's not a very forgiving god, let me tell you that. And it's a mean god. And if you don't feed it the right way, it will crush you. So, you gotta have your creativity. You gotta have your other creativeness, your other creativity gods to fall back on. That's Remy's chosen path, though. I mean, I get it. It's easy money right now to be an influencer and to sell crap to people and not give a shit about fans. Change is coming, and it's not going to be good for people like Remy. So, what's Alisha going to do? Remy's moving on. She's literally moving on. See, also, too, I want to say this. I know Taylor and Elizabeth have bigger fan bases than them. I get that. But it doesn't matter the size of your fan base or who is watching. You can still be creative. Look at me. No one cares about my art but me and a few people. And that's it. And I don't care about who it is. There's some people, even if it's just me, because you never know, your art, your work might be for a fan base that's not even born yet, like Stanley Kubrick's. Like the movies he made. They were not for the people back then who were like, Eyes Wide Shut, look, it's Nicole Kidman and she's nude in the first shot. He didn't make the movies for those people. He made them for us who was gonna not be distracted by that and go, wait a minute. Bruce Weber, is that you? Is that you in the toy store? Bruce, is that you in the toy store? Andre Blazar. Andy Warhol? Is that you? Is that you saying, oh, fudge, and you were really saying fudge instead of fuck, but we had to change it in the movie because copyright and all that? What? Yeah. And a lot of people think I'm fucking nuts, too, with my creativity. And that's fine. I'm happy. I'm being creative. And there might be an audience that comes later on that appreciates this after I'm gone. And so maybe I'm making art for people who aren't even here yet. And that's pretty cool to me. Like Van Gogh. Van Gogh made his art for an audience, for a fandom that wasn't even born yet. Which, he was into ergot too. He took ergot wine. That's why his paintings had all those, like, he was an impressionist. So, like, impressionist, it was not about just painting the grass, how it looked. It was about painting the grass and the life in the grass and depicting that with color and the movement. Like, it wasn't until after I realized, you know, what I'm on and really starting to look at things and understanding, like, I understand Starry Night now. Do you guys? Hey, Alisha, Remy, do you understand Starry Night? Have you ever sat for an hour and looked at the moon and then go, wow, I understand what Van Gogh saw? Me. That's the other thing too. Priceless memories. It's not about who's there to say you did a good job. It's not about having millions of people clapping too sometimes. Sometimes it's about the feeling you get after you produce this artwork, this art outside of you, and you're just like, oh. Like I saw today with Taylor, and how she sat there and how she was just so proud of her new album because of the work she put into it and the creativity and how much she loves music and loves sharing that with people. It was so beautiful it was refreshing. It was so refreshing. So, just want to talk about that because Frank pointed it out. So, yeah. I'm going to sit here, be creative. Good morning, guys. Thought I'd vlog this. This is something I do. You see the time? Let's see if you can see the time. Focus, camera, focus. Focus. There we go. 5 a.m. I woke up maybe about an hour ago. There we go. Thought I'd vlog this. Yes, I'm still sleeping in the living room because of... Well, I don't really have night terrors anymore. Focus, camera. I know it's early. Focus. Focus. I know you don't want to focus on this hair, but focus. I know, my hair is a mess. Anyways. Yeah, I thought I'd vlog this because I'm like, I don't remember the last thing I vlogged. Whatever. It's early, so. Yeah, usually like, okay, I don't really have night terrors per se, but I have vivid dreaming. So I still talk in my sleep. I still hit in my sleep. I still yell in my sleep. It's a thing. It's a thing. And then, because of the pain, I can only really sleep. I don't sleep like solid block. I sleep like maybe 2.5 hours before I wake up from pain. And I have to like try to reposition or do something. And then go back to sleep. So, let's see. What time did I go to bed? We're good. So yeah, I didn't go to sleep till like maybe 11. And so like I woke up maybe once and like repositioned myself and went back to sleep. But like I was sleeping like 2.5 hour blocks. Chronic pain life. And it's luxuries, so yeah. That's what we're doing. We're just sitting here. So Pulpy is live. This is Pulpy. I think I've shown you guys Pulpy before. He's covering Foodie Beauty. Now earlier, Foodie Beauty just had like an audio, like where, you know, she just puts her little PFP and she just talks and to her beezers. Well, he had one of those on earlier. So what Pulpy does is he'll put the bears up. So let me see if I can find where the bears were. No, there's glitter and lasers. See, Pulpy had the bears up. I had the bears up earlier this week. Do you guys like that? I like putting like random live streams. Not random, but I like putting live cams up on the TV during the day. And right now the bears are doing the salmon run, so. But there's also an otter stream. There's kitten streams. There's puppy streams. There's all kinds of streams. I know it's quiet. Just got really quiet because the air conditioning turned off. Patrick's alarm goes off in like 15 minutes. My mom's already up. She's already up with the cats. You know, I'm like, I was sitting here and I'm like, I wish there was a cat here to pet. They're all in her room. They all love to sit in her room in the morning, so. Yeah. I just thought, I was like, wait a minute. I've never vlogged at like, when I wake up early in the morning like this to like, get on top of my pain. No, sometimes I will go back to sleep for maybe like 2 hours in the morning once I get on top of my pain, but a lot of times I just stay up and then take a nap in the afternoon, like pass out on the floor in the afternoon. So it's glamorous, isn't it? My glamorous lifestyle. loved about her saying that, like, she knew how to talk to, like, get a sense of what her fans wanted, but she didn't need to, like, watch the comments, like the hate comments and stuff. No, I really like the orange. I do. Yeah, it reminded me of that as well. We'll ask Ryan to check on it. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do have to learn how to do everything when it comes to YouTube. You can't just rely on an editor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The destruction of the American its particulars. The squats in unashamed luxury in this Disneyland of perversion. Who invariably ends up with a blowtorch aimed at his crotch.
Well, I know that's the problem nowadays, is that with Netflix and stuff, people just have to pump out the shit. Yeah.
My purpose in coming to Hollywood is the destruction of the American male in all its particulars. The squats in unashamed luxury.
Are you having breakfast right now? What are you eating?
Who invariably ends up with a blowtorch aimed at his crotch.
Avocado toast is good. It's heart healthy.
The new woman is astonishing.
It's pretty gaggy. It looks amazing.
No man would ever
It looks
incredible.
amazing. She looks absolutely incredible. I think my favorite of the alternate covers, I do really like the It's Frightening one, the one where she's climbing over the seats.
Oh yeah, Lucidity
I thought
loved
was
that one.
ridiculous. I think it's kind of like, I like it.
I like it
something
too.
corny about it.
It's not corny.
Oh.
Lucidity likes it. Lucidity loves this. Lucidity loves this. This reminds me of A Clockwork Orange. Except the guy's not there. I get it. But, like, I like this. This reminds me of Lucidity. Hi. Welcome to later. So, yeah, I'm kind of dressed up. Nah. I got it together. So, yeah. Welcome. Me and Philip here have been watching the Bears. Well, he was watching the Bears earlier. We were watching the Bears. Oh, big stretch. That's a lazy sign, Philip. We were watching the Bears earlier. Yeah. There's this one bear that sits off to the side. And, like, he totally has this right setup. Like, all the fish go by and he's, like, off to the side. He's in the shade and he's just, like, chilling. Like, it's fun to watch them when they're up on the falls. And they'll, like, just, like, for the fish. And they actually catch it. So, hi. I know we were going to talk about gold juice, but we're going to talk about that. Philip! Where am I going to put my thing? Oh, whatever. We'll do what we did the other vlog where he's, like, in it with me. So, let's see. So we can see you. And I don't know if we'll have room for Lucidity. Okay. We can see Philip, though. Isn't that important? Hi. I love you. So, yeah. Have you guys... Okay, if you live in Southern California and you've been breaking out, I found out today that ozone, like a high ozone layer, will cause you to break out and have acne. Pollution will give you acne. I'm not serious. Like, pollution is, like, out here wrecking our skin. Because, okay, now that I'm older, I don't get cystic acne like I used to, or really bad acne. I used to have cystic acne when I was in high school and I had to be on meds for it. My mom should be home soon. That's why he's looking up. So, raw. And, so, like, I don't get acne like that anymore. Especially since, like, I don't wear makeup because I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, who cares, you know? It's just us. And, but then sometimes it's fun to put colors on. So, anyways, raw. So, the ozone's been making us break out. So, like, I've been breaking out, like, on my chin and stuff. And I was like, have I been having a little more like pimples popping up than usual? And then I was like thinking, well, the air quality's been shit. And then I watched part of Remy's vlog after I got off the phone with my mentor, and she said she broke out too, and she's in Orange County now, I think, or closer to that. I'm not sure. She moved. Philip, where are you going? Excuse me. Excuse me. I'll just, I just turn it and you're back where you were. So it's like you moved for nothing. You know that? You don't care, do you? Oh, good. He's a good baby. So yeah. Pollution's making us break out. Yeah, Remy was having that too. Can you tell him, like, scatter? I don't know. I'm feeling off today. But, raw. So, yeah. Most of this vlog is probably going to be me just talking about how, like, shocking Taylor Swift's new album. It's just nice to have, like, refreshing new art and being shocked. I keep telling Patrick, I want to be shocked. I want the shock of the new. That's what it is. The shock of the new. There was an art critic when I was researching Andy Warhol. I can't remember his name. I think Hughes is his last name. And he hated Andy Warhol. He hated Andy Warhol. He knew Andy Warhol was a fraud, and he hated him for it. He hated what he did to art. Hated it. He had a whole series called The Shock of the New, and it's a BBC. If I remember, I will link it below. They keep trying to get rid of his stuff off of YouTube and any criticism of Andy Warhol because they want to preserve his legacy so that his foundation keeps making money. Don't want to get copyrighted. Money! I don't make money, so who cares? Anyway, so, yeah, so he had this series called The Shock of the New. And about, like, what are we going to have new in art? What is next? And there's even people like, I've told you about C.W. Chanter, who believe in the 20-year nostalgia loop and that things are just keep getting recycled. And as we go on and recycle this stuff, the trends are just getting shorter and shorter until, eventually it's gonna cannibalize itself. Yeah, the culture is gonna cannibalize itself, which is very interesting. The whole idea of culture. Culture is something that you like. Okay, when I did biology in college, we would culture like Philip. We would culture like bacteria or funguses, and that's to grow something. To culture is like growing something, like, how like people, I'm thinking of bread because Taylor Swift was talking about bread, which sounded really good, the sourdough bread, which, damn, that sounds like a whole thing to make sourdough bread. But anyways, like, how you take yeast and you grow it, you can take a little bit and you can make more and grow it. That's what that means. And so it's just interesting. The other thing I found, I didn't find it. It came to me. Reddit. I got recommended on Reddit. Well, because I'm on the Lana Reddit now. Because, as, raw. And, Ethel Cain? I saw where Lana said, and I'm trying to find it, that Ethel Cain, which, do you know what her, okay, I looked into this person, into her, and wow, which, is she trans? I don't know. That's neither here or there. I don't give a shit about that. What I was interested in was Ethel Cain is not her real name, right? It's like, it's a persona, right? Her real last name, where is this at? Her real last name is, where is it? Her real last name, it's an A name. Anhedonia. Anhedonia? Anhedonia, which is Greek. It's Greek for the inability to experience joy or pleasure. Ethel Cain's real last name literally means joylessness. Like despair, like you may feel numb or less interested in things that you once enjoyed. It's a common symptom of many mental health conditions like depression. Her last name literally means depression in ancient Greek. Her middle name is like Scylla, which I think it meant like forest or something. Yeah, Anhedonia, derived from Greek, without pleasure. Her name literally means without pleasure. And then I saw where Elizabeth had made a comment about how the first time she heard about Ethel, Hayden is her real name, which I don't know if she is trans, then maybe that's her dead name. So, okay, this Ethel Cain, this woman, okay, this person who makes music and apparently used to do like I guess at her shows she would do like projections and stuff, and she used to do projections of like making fun of like Elizabeth and like comparing her to animals and stuff, which I mean, if you would think, oh, she's just comparing her to an animal like that, like, you know how someone would say desert whale instead of desert mermaid, right? But I don't know if that's exactly what that is. And you know, I saw where like Ethel Cain, she had said that like she like was an edgelord back in the day and apologizes and blah blah blah, but I don't know, her background was just kind of weird, funky to me. That last name was funky to me. And I know our last names aren't always reflective of who we are, but when I see her like aesthetic is like daughter of a preacher who was R-worded and Baptist backwards horror movie type shit in conjunction with the pictures, and then like compared to other, like, that's like, if you didn't know, you would think she's just being an edgelord. But after some of the things we talked about, that really could have been media magic there, which I would understand why Elizabeth would want to make her own song to counteract that. Like, I know, like, a lot of people, if you've never been in this, like, creative world or ever heard of media magic, like, where you can take your art and turn it into magic, you think this is just silly. But when you are in it, like Elizabeth is in the circle, and someone else is putting images up of you that are disgusting. Like, I tried to find some. I'm gonna have to do some more digging, but that's media magic. That can be scary for people. And just remember, Elizabeth, if you are watching, everything that comes to you will bounce off and go tenfold back to the other person. That's my gift to you. Anything anybody sends to you will bounce off of you and go tenfold back to them. I think I hear my mom outside. Just remember that, okay? My gift to you. I think that's my mom. So I'm gonna go see if my mom's outside. I want to do something later. The tram's closed though because they need a motor for their like tram thing. So I want to do something. And then it's hot. I want to ride my bike. And jammies. There's the bears. So we're having poke for dinner. And we're trying to see... No, don't give me error to see if Dexter has a new episode. Nope. Nope. So we're watching Yellow Jackets. They just found a cave. They found an oracle cave, basically.
Right. That's right.
That was weird. That was weird. They walked in and they're like, they start hallucinating Van and them. And I'm like, that's one of those caves that have all that gases coming up.
Yeah.
I told you about that. I told you about that. The oracles, they would sit over these like vents that had gases coming up, or they'd feed them drugs or whatever. And if you had a tumor like me, you wouldn't go into like a serotonin syndrome shock too. Like from having too much drugs and stuff, you can handle it. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch Yellow Jackets. Remember, I'm an acolyte. Kind of sounds like opalite. Huh, yeah, yeah. They both mean like, you know, people who are shiny and things, you know. Yeah.
Out, and then the easel hit the bear,
Wow.
and he folded like a lawn chair. Now I gotta fix it.
Nope. Some bears can't be fixed, Shell. I'm watching this. Yeah. Came to that part and she's like, the easel hit the bear, and he folded. She has some like I think it's a Lego bear or something that she got thrifting, Shell. Her name's No Madness. I watch her a lot. She's fun. She's really nice too, and she's really nice to her audience, so yeah. I know. Yesterday just went to... I worked on my bear, though. Worked on my bear. Let me find my picture. My bear picture. Raw. So yeah, I'm just hanging out this morning. I had the most intense dream last night. But it was like so cathartic and special. Do you ever have a dream where you feel like you get to connect with someone who's not with you anymore? And it was such a beautiful dream. It was so beautiful. I had a dream about a childhood pet I had named Cleo. And it was just such a beautiful dream. And I hadn't thought about her in a long time. She was, my mom and dad, my mom got this dog before I was born. And so while she was pregnant, she had Cleo and then had me. And then Cleo would sit with me as a newborn. My mom would put me out on the living room floor. Cleo would sit there with me. I have pictures of us together. And Cleo ended up with my father after they got divorced. And my father's not he's not a man. He's not a man, and he's not a part of my life anymore. And we always felt bad that Cleo, and she lived a long time. This dog lived a long time. She lived to be like 16 years old. I was like 14 when she passed away. And she was older than me. And so we always felt bad that me and my mom, that we couldn't bring her with us, because growing up, me and my mom lived with my grandma and grandpa. We lived with my grandma. I've told you about her. So it was always, you know, we always felt bad that she spent the rest of her life with my father. And yeah, my dad was sometimes good to her, but he's not a good person. And I was happy, though, at the end of her life, my dad was living, he was living in, like, on this older woman's property, and she had dogs, so he would kind of watch over her dogs, and he got cheap rent and her property a little bit, and she kind of watched over Cleo, the older lady, and so I was always grateful to her that, you know, Cleo, her last years were in somewhere where there was a dog person, an animal person who loved her. And it was really hard when we lost her, me and my mom, you know, because my dad just took her to put her to sleep. He didn't give us a chance to say goodbye to her. It was all about him and doing it, getting it out of the way for him, because it was hard for him. He didn't care about us. And I know that happens with divorced families and things like that. So I had this really intense dream about her last night, and in my dream, I was able to go to my father's home and then drive her back home to where we lived. And I brought her home and put her in the living room, and we sat here with the cats like it was present day. It was such a beautiful dream. And if you've ever had a dream like that, you know how priceless having something like that is. You know, so I just wanted to share that. If you guys ever have a dream like that, and it's not silly, it's still giving you that same feeling, you know? I have the feeling that I actually got to bring her back home, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Ugh. My bear picture. Let's see. Okay. Let me move some stuff around, because I need to put, okay, where's the black? Because see, like, I will work on it, and sometimes I work on it with, like, the background. Where's the, but you can't see it because the bear's white, so I'm, like, trying to find where, oh, come on, am I gonna have to, where is it? No. Let me just make a new thing. Hold on. I'm like, where is it? Okay. Let me just make another black thing so you can see it. Because you know I do everything on black t-shirts. And so, like, I'll do the line work and stuff. So let me... Okay, here we go. Inspo picture. What? So I did the bandana. So I started with Lucidity's legs first because that was easy for me to, like, visualize. But so I got the bear. Her arm's gonna go here, so I just left a spot. Yeah, so that's my bear. I know it's more of a polar bear. I'm thinking of doing brown, but see, okay. I don't want to just do brown. I'd want it to be brown with, like, hot pink, like, accents and stuff. If you know what I mean, when you see, like, really cool pictures on Instagram. And it's not just a brown bear. Like, they'll have yellow and pink accents. Yeah. I need to get a color theory book so I can start learning about color theory. Like, okay, like, I heard Alisha on her creative funk thing that we talked about. She was talking about color theory, and I know there's a lot more to color theory than just, like, looking at the wheel and knowing how to mix, like, red and yellow and blue to make green, right? It's a lot more complicated. I got recommended a video on color theory by someone who actually went to art school and was explaining it. And I was like, I'm gonna have to get me a book on that. So I'm gonna eventually get myself a book on color theory, because I know it's like, it's way more complicated than just knowing, like, you know, this color opposite this side, right? So yeah, it's more than just, you know, color correcting on the computer, if you know what I mean. It's a lot more complicated. It's like learning, like, color schemes, or, like, colors that go together. Like, this girl had all these, like, different, there was all these names for different, like, if you have colors on this section of the wheel, or if you use colors opposite each other, or there's, like, and it's just tritones, and I was just like, nah. So I know this has been a long vlog again, but oh, talk to my mentor. He wants me to stick in this clip here about, and he doesn't want people to forget about Andre Blazat and how he likes to run the Chateau Marmont with his employees. He wants me to stick this clip in here.
Hey, my name is Adrian Jules, and from 2017 until March of 2020, I worked as a security guard at the Chateau Marmont, the castle on the Sunset Strip, this historic establishment frequented by A-list celebrities. It was a place to, you know, go and unwind, and it was a very private situation where you could just let loose. And for myself and other employees who worked there, it was a very toxic environment, riddled in racism, riddled in sexual harassment, riddled in being disrespected by your peers in management and guests. And of course, not everybody that worked there was a terrible person. I met some amazing people there who, when I was going through what I was going through, were there for me. You will remain unnamed because I don't want them to attack you like they have attacked me. By they, we'll learn who they are. In terms of my experiences there, look, I've been called everything outside of my name working at the Chateau. I've been called the N-word. I had a female hostess call me a bitch and say I was acting like a bitch. Reported it to HR, to management. Nothing ever happened. Somebody called me a moon cricket once, and that was new for me. I was, whoa, moon cricket? What the? How'd you even come up? Like, what is that? So I Googled it, and I was like, all right, hadn't heard that one. We had something called chocolate sundaes. Now, there was a staff of about 250 people there. It was a hotel, so you have different departments: housekeeping, valet, bellman, houseman, front desk. And out of that 250, there might have been maybe 8 to 10 black people. And on Sunday, every black person was scheduled to work, so we would all show up and work together. And on the restaurant menu, it was fried chicken. Every Sunday, they served fried chicken and cornbread. I was like, nobody else is seeing this? Is this not odd to anyone else? But I realized I was expendable. And when you work somewhere, man, I understand that I'm just a number, but I knew how different it was at the Chateau in that they treated black celebrities and celebrities of color with so much disdain and so much disrespect that I was like, damn, if they can treat these people like this, then definitely don't give a damn about me. About 2 months before we all were let go as staff in March, I had an unfortunate incident with owner Andre Balaz that involved sexual harassment and groping. And had I not responded and creating distance, I'm sure it would have gotten a lot worse, or we would have tried to do something far worse. In the moment that it happened, my initial thought was to defend myself and respond with the rage that I was feeling inside. But I knew I had already been going through what I was going through with the Chateau Marmont in terms of them saying that nothing happened to me at work. Had I responded with the rage and the anger that I had, in me at that moment, it would have been really bad for me, and that I would have probably ended up under the jail.
Right. Don't forget Adrian, right? Right? Don't forget what Adrian found in the gym at the Chateau Marmont.
February 1st, 2020, I was told to go to the gym, and upon arrival at the gym, I found a male guest, standing in the doorway, looking as though he had just seen a ghost. His face was completely white, and as I approached the door, he turned and looked at me. He said, "I found her like this. I didn't do anything. I opened the gym door to come into the gym for a run, and I immediately called the front desk. I haven't touched her." So you hear something like this, you think the worst. I tell him to step to the side. He holds the gym door open, and I tell him, "Hey, I want you to remain standing at the gym door, ensuring that it's open, and you'll serve as my witness." So as I enter the room, there is this young white woman, 20s maybe, 5'2", 5'3", 105 pounds, 10 pounds maybe. She is slouched over. She's wearing a jacket and a skirt, but her skirt is hiked up. She's bare. She is fully exposed, and she doesn't look like she's breathing. I don't see her chest expanding. So immediately I think, all right, we got a dead body at the Chateau Marmont. Okay. I remain calm, and I walk over, and I grab a towel first of all, and I lay it over. I grabbed her wrist, and I checked her pulse, and my heart was beating a mile a minute, because I'm like, I pray don't be dead, don't be dead, don't be dead. And I felt a pulse, and I said, oh, okay, good. And at that point, the guest's wife rushed in the hotel gym. She just went crazy in terms of, she was very emotional. It was like a mother tending to their child. She just kept saying, "Baby, I know something happened to you. I know something happened to you. You're okay. I'm here for you." The young lady wasn't responding to verbal commands, but she was breathing, and the paramedics show up. They take her to the hospital. I never spoke to LAPD. There was no report taken. And so I do my incident report indicating what happened. And then I later learned from Amanda Granetti, the GM, and I think this might have been a mistake, because I just went to her and I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I have a witness there that watched me do everything. I did nothing that was disrespectful, distasteful. I remained professional. My main goal was ensuring that young lady's wellness. And she said, no, Adrian, it's fine. I mean, Andre was in the gym. And I was like, Balaz? She said, yes, you're fine, sweetie, and stormed off. And I was like, whoa. So I amend my report to show that Andre Balaz was in the gym. At this point, security no longer had access to the cameras. Carly took access to the cameras, so we as security couldn't see what was going on within the property, which was odd because it's like we're security. If something happens, how are we able to review cameras? And I worked overnight, so it was typically just me, and management was in there overnight, so how could I review cameras? So I requested to review the cameras to Carly because I wanted to see, you know, when Andre Balaz entered the gym, when the young lady entered the gym. And she said, well, Amanda said this. She said, well, they were in the gym together and Andre just gave her a cup of water and left. And I said, huh? All right, well, if that's the truth, let me just review the footage so I can make sure my incident report is as thorough as it needs to be. And she says, there is no footage. I said, why wouldn't there be footage? You mean to tell me the owner of the gym is in a hotel gym with a young lady who is rushed to the hospital, who is unconscious and fully exposed and slouched over? Why wouldn't there be footage of that? So the footage mysteriously no longer existed. So I said, woo. I ended up going to the LAPD to inquire about what happened because, again, I was concerned about the young lady. And again, I'm sensitive to finding a woman the way I found her. It just didn't look good. The LAPD, although they gave me limited information, they did confirm that she survived and she was alive and she left the hospital. I don't know her name and I'm sure she doesn't know what happened, but I'm just glad that she's okay. And that incident, like, was just like, I was like what else could go wrong? There was a National Enquirer article that came out just out of the blue, and it referenced the gym incident, and it said that there was an overdose in the gym on the date that I found the young lady. And this is before I knew that it was a overdose. So I ended up getting the call records and the paramedic records, and it listed the call as OD. But I was like, who called in OD? And Andre Balaz gave her a cup of water, but there was no formal investigation. So again, when you have that much power, you have friends in very high places. And I understand that. And I understand why me even coming out with this is dangerous for me to discuss, considering the person I'm speaking about in the establishment, and he has direct lines to media outlets, and it's a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Right. This poor guy, Adrian Jules, I guess he's like an aspiring comedian, but like a good comedian, like a dad joke comedian, you know, like a dad joke comedian, and just like family fun. It kind of reminded me of, like, did you guys ever know who John Pinette was? He was so nice, and people loved that they could take their kids to his comedy acts. Me and Patrick accidentally ended up at a John Pinette comedy concert. That's how we found him. We were at a casino down here, and we were just standing there, and this guy comes over and he goes, do you want tickets to John Pinette? And we're like, is this a scam? And he's like, here, I'm going right now. And he points over and he's like with his beers, come on, come see John Pinette with me. I'm like, and he's like handing out tickets to everybody. So we went to John Pinette, and it was so funny. We sat the entire time. We were laughing. It was, John Pinette's passed away. If I remember, I will link some of his stuff too. I have a lot of things linked for you. The Shock of the New, John Pinette. We got Adrian in here, but so Adrian's comedy style kind of reminded me of like that in a way, like just clean, funny jokes. And so I guess Andre Balaz has been behind the scenes trying to make Adrian look bad. Because Adrian pointed out how racist and fucked up shit is over at the Chateau Marmont, which during COVID, like, the Chateau Marmont was shut down, and then it got reopened, and then Andre Balaz shut down all of his, like, his standard hotels, and then he sold them. This was also during the time that California had this mandated thing come out that in your hotels you had to teach people how to look for the signs of trafficking. And not car traffic. Not car traffic. Which they had a big bust in LA yesterday. Just saying. So Andre Blazat says it was COVID that he did that for and stuff. But why did you shut down the Chateau Marmont, get rid of all of the old staff, come back with new staff after the California law about trafficking? Why did you do that, Andre? That's fucked up and stuff, right? So, don't forget that. And we'll still be doing that, and I will probably figure out, like, something where we can... I'll be like, don't forget how Andre Blazat runs the Chateau Marmont. Bless you! That was Timmy, he sneezed. Bless you! My little black cat. Right. So there's a lot going on. We're having vivid dreams. We're taking on the loser owner of the Chateau Marmont. I don't know. We're going to make the Chateau Marmont the Chateau Mermaid, guys. Maybe I'll make my own. Oh, Timmy. Are you okay, Timmy? Do you need help? Oh, he's looking out the window now. Yeah. So, you need to come up with a name for him or something. I don't like calling him by his given name. Bill. 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 Dr. Hartford? No, his dad was a doctor, not him. Loser. Andy Warhol's date from the 80s. Yeah, don't forget that shit either, guys. Don't forget, Andre Blazat used to spend a minimum of 4 nights a week for the last 7 years of Andy Warhol's life. Don't forget, Andy Warhol was also friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein basically took over his stuff. We got a lot coming up, right? There's some things coming. And we're going to have to be ready for it. I don't know if we're ready for it, but we're going to have to be ready for it. There's just things coming, and there's moves being made. I was also talking to people on the Lana, bless you, the Lana subreddit, Elizabeth subreddit, about Ethel Cain. Dr. Luke, she signed with Dr. Luke and then was like, I needed the money, and just got out of that contract this year. Everybody's trying to say, well, because she's trans and stuff, like, maybe she felt like pressure. I don't know. Like, she could have still, Ethel, she still could have made her music on YouTube and still built a fan base, and then probably gotten a big enough fan base behind her to then, like, get signed to someone who's decent. The other thing that's weird is that Ethel Cain likes to take on Lana Del Rey's persona, and has really, like, kind of attached herself to the coattails of that at the beginning of her career, which I don't understand. I get it if you're fans, but it almost was like she was trying to position herself to take over Lana Del Rey's, like, spot in the industry. Like Rosemary's Baby. Like I said, there's people in this magic circle who believe it. That's why she's getting rid of the Amy Whitney tattoo. Because she's starting to realize, like, if what they told me about this is true, then they can do that to me. Then Ethel can get a Lana Del Rey tattoo of me when I'm gone. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? This is what people believe. And that's why Elizabeth made the song about Ethel. This is how people in, like, high levels of creative magic go at each other. They use their music, they use their art, and it makes up when it happens too. Like, the last 2 days with Ethel Cain and Lana Del Rey, Elizabeth. Remember, this is for you guys too, and for Elizabeth and anybody else who is watching. Anybody else, because you're watching me, anything that is sent to you will bounce off of you and go tenfold back to the sender, okay? Anything negative, anything will bounce off of you and go tenfold back to them. Just because you're with me right now. You're with me. I was told this by advertising dude's mom. Okay, we call her Chi-Chi. It's Q-I-Q-I. I guess that means like Nana in Japanese. Like her grandchildren that are in the UK are part Japanese. Their mom was Japanese, so like they call her Chi-Chi. So that's kind of like, that's the family name for her, Chi-Chi. So Chi-Chi was the one who told me all this. She's got a tumor like me, but she was able to have kids. She was able to have kids. I can't have kids too, not only because of my tumor, but because of my back problems. And then I had recurring pancreatitis on and off as in my 20s. So, but she's had a lot of other health problems and complications because of it. So, but she was lucky enough, fortunate enough to have 3 beautiful children. So, she's kind of the one who's been teaching me about oracle stuff, which is still hard for me to believe. Which we watched Yellow Jackets last night, and I about lost it when Lottie goes, well, maybe it's like the Oracle of Delphi, and shoves Aquila into the cave. I'm like, you know, you could just sit on the edge of that cave and like kind of huff it. Like, you don't need to go in there. Like, what? They sat over a chasm coming out. They did not go in the cave. Aw, babies. Did you see Timmy? So, I'm not editing that out. We're all apparently coughing. Ozone. The ozone's bad right now. It's so bad. It's ozone that's bad. It's not just air quality. It's ozone. It's like they're trying to keep us from breathing or something. But, she's the one who's been teaching me about some of this, and that oracles usually, their gifts come with a curse. And so she said that mine's probably the pain that I'm in and not being able to have children. So I think it's feeling crazy from it. So she's the one who's been teaching me about that. And she says that when you're an oracle or like a psychic person or something, and it's something that happened to you, not something you chose. Like, we're pretty sure Epstein chose the path of a warlock or a sorcerer. Do you see Noe? That he chose the path. It wasn't something that he was born with, if you see what I'm getting. I know it sounds weird and it sounds like I'm trying to say I'm special. I have a medical condition. It's probably genetic. Probably from my father's line, side of the family, because he's the Italian. And Northern Italian would have been the area, Chi-Chi said, that they had an oracle up there in Rome. That, yeah, so there's a whole thing. But oracles it's like you're protected by the gods, because you can commune with them. And so she said, anything anybody tries to do to you will bounce off of you and go tenfold back to them. It sounds crazy. I know, I sound crazy. It sounds narcissistic. It sounds grandiose. I know. I'm talking to therapists about all this. And they're like, well, you know, if that's like your spiritual belief, do you like carry this into like your actions? I'm like, hell no. I'm just like, I want to be just like everybody else. Growing up an only child, like, you just want to fit in with everybody else, you know? Like, when your parents are always, if you're an only child, you know, and my mom, I was my mom's only kid. And so, like, I got a lot of attention from my mom when she wasn't working and stuff, you know? And, you know, sometimes you just wish you had a bunch of siblings to, you know, disappear into, you know what I mean? So, She said that anything that anybody tries to do to me, and she goes, pay attention, we'll go back to them tenfold, or look back in your life. And I go, well, what about my lawsuit that I lost? She goes, well, look into the people who were involved in that. And actually, advertising dude pulled up some stuff on one of the guys who was a private investigator for when I sued Walmart. He got lung cancer and died a few years after that. And they were like trying to show me this as evidence that, like, look, see, you're an oracle, see? He came for you and then he got cancer and died. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just a coincidence. Like, I think we can look at a lot of people, like the lawyer for Walmart. A week or two after that trial, apparently his house burnt down. There was this huge fire in San Diego where he was from, and I guess some teenagers said it or something that week. This is 2014, okay? So if you ever want to go look, there was this huge fire in San Diego in 2014, and apparently his house burned down. Walmart after that had to pay like a lot of money out too in like environmental, like, I guess they got caught dumping a bunch of shit, and so they had to pay out in a lot of environmental stuff. And then too, they've been competing against Amazon now since then, so maybe I didn't lose. You see how I'm saying, how you look back on stuff and you're like, maybe Chi-Chi's right about this. So I know this is crazy, more crazy. Another hour vlog. I need coffee. But I have a picture. We have a picture. We have a bear picture. We have a bear picture. Try not to show my thumbs. I'm thinking my thumbs are getting good enough. I might get some false nails and stick them on. I know that might be bad. But I don't know. Sometimes before, when my nails have gotten weird, I put false nails on and then they get better. Because it's not like it's keeping them protected. You know, like the false ones, the kiss nails you get at like Walgreens or CVS. We don't have a Walgreens anymore, but cute. So yeah, I'm gonna end this. Remember, guys, anything that anybody sends to you will bounce off of you and go tenfold back to them. And all these stars are yours because I gave it to you. I know, we should make, like, I should make a poster of Lucidity going, all these stars are yours. That would be nice, right? We should do that. We'll do that too. We got a list of creative things, but that's okay. We won't run out of anything to do because we got our creativity. And I gotta say, Taylor Swift's new album covers and so I am excited for my birthday because I'm getting a Taylor Swift album for my birthday. I know. I'm just excited that new content is coming, new music. It seems like people are getting creative. Elizabeth put out a diss track. She put out her own magic. Taylor's got the magic of her album coming back. Everything is happening, you guys. We just gotta be ready, even though we're not ready. And yeah. Oh, all these stars are yours. And remember, the more we know, right? We know some stuff. But the more we know, the more we don't know. And that's why I feel crazy a lot. So, all these stars are yours. Not Andre Blazaz. I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next really, really, really long video. Because apparently I can't get away from that. Raw. Love you guys. I can't say goodbye because I love you. Love you, bye.
Something that schools generally don't teach you. You know, a lot of people don't have a good generalized approach to problem solving. They're not thorough, don't consider all the possibilities, prepare themselves with the right information. If you can develop a kind of generalized approach to problem solving, it's surprising how it helps you in anything.
I don't think. I know.
Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.